Hey guys, so I'm recording this from the closet again just to get a little bit of privacy. I think it's the only space in the apartment that isn't being monitored. Clearly there are cameras everywhere. I don't know where they are. If we were in a house or something, I'd be tearing up the walls trying to find the cameras, but we can't do that this is a rented apartment. But they do keep having people come by and make certain comments about things that I said or did in private in the apartment. Not random things either. They would have to be watching, not just listening, but watching. So it's boy. Right. So what happened today? I had been working for a rideshare company making deliveries, and I don't have a car, so I was either using my bike or I was walking, because you can do that with certain companies, and well, I had stopped for a while. One, because I had, when I was running, I ended up injuring my hip. I don't know. I was born with a hip click. So, and occasionally it acts up. And anyway, I injured it. Now it's okay. But also, it was getting too difficult with the perpetrators following me everywhere. I needed a break. But I really did have to go back to work. I needed the income. So I did that today, and I knew it was going to be bad right from the start. From the moment I left the apartment, I got into the elevator and it started. There were two people in the elevator, a man and a woman. I know the woman. I've seen her in the laundry room before, and she's really nice. But she will speak her mind, and that's fine. It doesn't bother me. I'm sorry. I'm getting the coat. I'm getting the coats and the jackets in the recording. Sorry. She'll speak her mind, and it doesn't bother me. Her intent is good, and now, in reality, just because someone's intent is good doesn't mean they're right. But in this case, she's also usually right. So that's okay. But today, there was a guy with her, and then another man got into the elevator, and that's when it started. He had said something to her in German. She's German. And now, a few days ago, here's why they put on this directed conversation. A few days ago, I had been talking about how, I know that it's not just Russia doing this, even though a lot of the people following me around are Eastern European and they have Russian accents. A lot of them have Russian accents also. It's not just Russia doing this, all right? And I was talking about Project Paperclip, where the CIA brought Nazi scientists over to work, in the United States and to continue their research here. And I was talking about how, even if there are other governments, other nations involved in this attack on us, our own government is involved. They have to be. There's no way that anyone else could get away with this level of an attack on American citizens without permission and help from our own government. So I was talking about that. And I started wondering if, I keep talking about Russia, but is Germany still a part of this, right? Could it be part of this? Am I looking in the wrong direction? So that's what I was talking about. So today in the elevator, they will always have people reference things that I said. So, there was the woman, and she's usually nice. She's German, but she's usually really nice. And so a man got in. She was talking to another man, and a third man got in. Another man got in, and he said something to her in German. So they, and then the directed conversation started. She said to me, she pointed out that I'm gaining a lot of weight, and she was really, really vocal about it, and that's fine. I am gaining weight now. I had lost a lot. Now I'm gaining a lot back, and it is bad. So I don't care I don't mind that she said that, she pointed it out. It doesn't matter. The problem is this was meant to lead into the actual point that they were trying to make, which was the point of the directed conversation. So when we started, I started saying, I know I am, I've got to stop that. She said, well, why are you gaining so much? And I said, I don't know. I've just got to stop. And, I wasn't going to go into my whole history with eating disorders, with, restricting and binging and restricting and binging. I wasn't going to do it. But anyway, so the third guy that had gotten into the elevator after I had gotten on said, well, you know how you stop eating? You keep your damn mouth shut. That's when I knew that this was not about food. This was not about food. It was about what I had mentioned, because I was talking more about, the organizations that might be involved in this. It's probably not just Russia. It's a shot at me to just shut up. Now, and the thing is, they kept saying it. And then the other guy said, yeah, you keep your mouth shut. And then the third guy, the second guy who got in, the third person in the elevator, the second guy who got in, he said, he repeated himself, you keep your damn mouth shut. And he looked me right in the eye. He would look me dead in the eye. And again, I don't usually look people in the eye, but sometimes I will. I got the point. But here's the thing, if it wasn't about weight, that's the thing. The point was a directed conversation, and it was meant to lead into that. It was about shutting the fuck up. But in reality, they don't want their targets to go silent. If they did, if that's all they wanted, they would stop attacking their targets when their targets do go silent. And most of us at some point do. We some of us fall into almost a catatonic state, right? We just, almost kind of curled up in a ball on the floor, not talking, not moving, not eating, not doing anything. But when the targets end up in that state, the perpetrators don't stop attacking. They attack even more. If they really wanted the target to go completely silent, they would stop their fucking attack when the target does go quiet. But they don't do that. And they just keep kicking and kicking and kicking, even when they already fucking won. And what happens is, you have a target who is destroyed, broken, and on the floor and catatonic and not moving, not a threat. But they just keep kicking him or her, right? And they keep attacking and attacking and attacking. And eventually, if you consider it this way, you consider, a little puppy who, someone just kicks the puppy over and over again. At first, the puppy is going to whimper and whine and cry and kind of cower and hide and try to kiss up to and appease whoever's attacking him. But that puppy is going to grow up. And at some point, he's going to stop crying. He's going to stop whining. He's going to turn around and rip the fucking leg off the person kicking him. They had him down, but they just couldn't stop. You don't want to poke an unconscious dragon in the eye, because at some point the dragon is, you beat the dragon into unconsciousness. Well, okay, but then he's down, isn't he? He's no longer a threat, but you keep poking him and poking him, poking him and poking him. Well, at some point he's going to wake up and incinerate you. If they really wanted us to remain quiet, they would not keep attacking to this extent until the point where, even though we're on the floor crying and catatonic and can't move, at some point we do have to get up and scream. And at some point we're going to start swinging back when we realize they're going to keep attacking until we die. So why the fuck should we go quiet? Why? They're going to attack until we die, so we may as well speak. But they know that. I've said this many times. They were just trying to provoke me. And they want violence. They were hoping I would act out violently, but I was calm. I laughed it off. I joked around with them. I said, yeah, that's a good idea. Except when you're fighting tyranny. Then you should speak up and scream. And then the man, the second man who got in, he got out of the elevator with the lady on one of the floors. And I was left with one of the other guys in the elevator. And we started talking then about, fighting tyranny and how we're not going to get actual news from watching the news here in the States, and he was talking about how he sometimes watches BBC to get real news to find out what's going on in the rest of the world. And I agreed with him. If we just count on the news, that we get here in the States, it doesn't matter what political side you're on, whether it's Fox News or CNN, you're not going to get all the facts from either side. Anyway, fast forward. So I had to take the bus to the area where I normally work. And I tend to work in a populated area because I don't have a car, I'm walking. There are businesses and restaurants and, domestic buildings and homes really close together in the same area. So I took the bus there. I got off the bus and I started walking, and a woman passed me by, and she said something like, he doesn't remember anything. He doesn't remember. He forgot. He doesn't remember. He can't do this, which was weird because I was worried that, I'm not good with remembering streets and direct. I'm pretty bad with directions. I'm bad spatially. So, I was worried that I forgot some of the streets. It would just take me a little bit longer today to get back into the hang of things. So, I to get the hang of it again. And so she passed me by and she said that, and it was meant to throw me off. She looked right at me, she said, he's going to screw up. He's going to screw up. He doesn't remember. Well, okay. Fast forward. I was walking to a more populated location, to maybe a few blocks away. It wasn't far after I got off the bus. And someone drove by in a car with, a rideshare decal in the window. And the person gave a little honk to get my attention. I looked over and then he waved. At first I thought it was a friend of mine, but No, it wasn't. I didn't recognize the person in the car. And sometimes they'll do that. They'll have someone drive by, honk and wave, or even shout out my name. And they'll usually use my old name because I've changed my name. And here's a hint, folks. You can change everything. You can change your name. You could change a lot, but they still follow you. Things are actually harder now that I've changed my name. But anyway, so yeah, they've done that before. People I don't know shouting my name and shit like that. So this was just to let me know that they're still there. And I knew things were going to get bad from that point on, and they did. My first order, I went to pick up from a restaurant, and it was a double order for 2 locations, for 2 people. So I got the orders, and then when I got to the first person wanted her food dropped off at a hotel. So I got there, I went, it says leave at the door, at her apartment. So I went there, I got to the door, I knocked, nobody answered. I went up to her floor, obviously, and I didn't leave it in the lobby, thank God. Yeah, nobody answered. Then I knocked again, nobody answered. So I texted her, nobody answered. I called her and she picked up, and she said she was about to call me, that she had forgotten that she was at the hotel the day before, but she wasn't there anymore, and she was actually at a location that was really far away. She told me where it was, and I'm thinking, oh God, how am I going to do this? And I was nice to her. I asked her what she wants to do because I told her that I'm a walker. I don't have a car. And we finally decided that she would come down to the hotel, meet me outside, and pick up the food. But I still had the second order to deliver, and I told her, I can't deliver the second order until I click that until I confirmed that I've delivered yours. So I'm just going to confirm it. And she said, that's fine. So she gave me about a half an hour, and I went I went to deliver the second order. I did that. I rushed back to the hotel. I had to turn the app off because you keep getting, requests for orders. And if you deny, if you turn down a certain amount, they click you off the app, right? They throw you off the app, at least for I think 10 minutes. I don't know how long, a half an hour. I don't know how long it is. So I had to turn the app off, went back, waited for her, which is cutting into my time working. It's cutting into what I can earn. But she was nice. It's not like, she was mean or anything. She was nice. So finally she came and I brought her stuff out. It's just, oh, and two, before that happened, like as I was walking to the hotel the first time, before I knew she wasn't there, when I still thought that I was delivering the first order, a guy walked by, he's white, and he made the gesture. And I'm not going to tell you what it is. I'm not going to do it because then people are going to copy it. But yeah, so I knew something was up. I knew something was going to happen. Right. So what else happened? So we move on. A few other orders, and people are walking by, and it's usually these white guys making a specific gesture just to piss me off, just to get to me. And it's something that I do in the apartment. I don't usually make that gesture, that movement outside. So they're copying my mannerisms is what they're doing. And yeah, I don't know. Right. Finally, it just things, it was getting bad. It was getting really bad. Then I found out that my cell phone was dying. Like I had it fully charged, and within, an hour and a half, it was down to 30%. I don't know how that happened. I didn't have it recording. I just had the app on, I couldn't work anymore. I did have a charger with it. It's harder when you're walking, because if you're in a car, you can just hook your phone up to the charger in the car. But I carry a portable charger with me, but that wasn't working well. I realized I wasn't even going to be able to work today. I by the time I went home, I had earned less than $20. It was completely pointless. But right, so I figured, all right, that's it. I'm done. I'm going home. There's nothing I can do at this point. So I went before I got on the bus back to go home. I went to get a cup of coffee because I wasn't awake. I was kind of out of it. I was dissociating a little bit. I can feel when that happens. I'm just not quite right. So I got a cup of coffee to try to just wake me up, snap me out of it. My card didn't work. The card didn't work. I couldn't pay with that. So I was digging through my stuff to get cash out, and they knocked something over, like right onto me, which I had to pick up. Like it was on the counter. And finally the guy said, you know what, just go ahead. You can have the coffee for free. Just take it. It was cheap. It was cheap coffee anyway, but that was nice of him. So I did get a free coffee out of all this. Um, yeah, so it's been rough. It was a long day, and it was only a few hours, and I don't know what I'm going to do. I can't keep this up. They're going to keep fucking with me, just like they're fucking with a friend of mine who's a rideshare driver. They're fucking with this person's app. It's really bad. I don't know. Um. Anyway. Oh, and two, I'm gonna make a video about a lot of things that have happened over the last week or two, but it's been crazy. I was in line at a store, and a woman, she was in an electric wheelchair, and she ran right into me. Like I was standing in line, and I noticed out of the corner of my eye this woman was coming at me, and she wasn't stopping with the big wheelchair, but it was too quick. Right before I could move, she had hit me, and she apologized, and she seemed really sincere. Um, I told her, look, if you mean that, if you're really sincere, I forgive you. But, if you did that on purpose, God help you. God save your soul. And then we started talking, and I started explaining to her some of the things that have been going on, that I am being followed with people who sometimes physically assault me. And she seemed receptive to it. She seemed concerned. And I believe her. I believe that it was an accident. And I think, even she said that maybe, at least this gave us a chance to talk. And now she got to hear some of the truth of what's been happening to people. And I agreed. And I think maybe someone fucked with her wheelchair. I think that's what happened, because I believe that she was sincere. Anyway, there's a lot more. I know I'm leaving something out. I don't care. I'm just going to end this video here. I'm going to make another one soon, describing things that have happened over the last week or two. Peace.